So are you also still generating personalized learning plans manually? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to auto-generate personalized learning plans using AI agent. So like you, I also used to manually generate all the learning plans for my students, but this is such a time-consuming and a tedious task. So to solve this problem, I've simply created this amazing automation where what is going to happen is that as soon as I add the student details into my Google Sheets, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the learning plan, which further I can add back into my Google Sheets. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Sheets, my AI agent, which is OpenAI, and then Google Sheets. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen. Welcome to my screen. So today I'll show you how to build an AI agent that creates personalized learning plans automatically by analyzing the learner's data, and the goal, the AI generate tailored weekly plan reports. Also, the AI is going to generate the personalized plan summary, course recommendations, and the weekly schedule. So yes, if you also want to create this amazing automation, because this is perfect for educators, coaches, or self-learners, then stick to this video till the end. And before starting with this, I'm just going to show you the proper working of this automation. For that, I'm just going to enter the student name right over here, the email address, the skill level, the learning goals, and the preferred pace. And once I'm just going to enter all of these details, my AI agent is going to generate me the personalized plan summary, course recommendations, and the weekly schedule right over here. And yes, over here you can see that my AI agent has generated me the personalized plan summary, the course recommendations, and the weekly schedule, all automatically without any programming or coding language, within seconds and in real time. Once I entered all of these details, automatically the plan summary, course recommendations, and the weekly schedule was generated. So yes, this is the amazing automation which we're going to create in today's video. And to start with this, we are simply going to open a new tab, and I'm just going to look for the landing page of Pabbly Connect simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. And now it is opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect, and over here we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free, and you're going to get 100 of hours free every month to explore the application. But over here I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this button right over here which says sign in. And once I'm just going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connects account. And once I'm just going to click on this access now, it is opening my dashboard. And to get started with this automation, we simply have to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here on my dashboard, you can see multiple folders which I have already created in which I save my workflows. So if you also want to create a new folder, you can go towards this create new folder button and create your own. I have already created many folders, so I'm just going to save my workflow in one of these only, which is automations. And now I'm just going to name my workflow as this: auto generate personalized learning plans using AI agent. And then we are simply going to click on this button which says create. And once I'm just going to click on this create, it is going to open the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens, and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by a trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of a trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, I'm simply going to select my trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm simply simply going to select it as Google Sheets right over here. And now for the trigger event, I'm simply going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row. And now it is giving me a webhook URL, so we're just going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. So to do this, I'm simply going to copy this webhook URL and then I'm just going to open the spreadsheet I want to connect. And after opening the spreadsheet, we are simply going to go towards this extensions, add-ons, and then we have to go towards this get add-ons. And after coming over here towards this get add-ons, we have to add an extension in the spreadsheet, which is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So I'm simply going to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks and select it. So as you can see that I have already installed this extension, and that is the reason that it is giving me the option of uninstall. But if you haven't installed this extension, you're definitely going to get the option of install right over here, and you can install this extension right from here. And once you're just going to install this extension, you have to refresh your spreadsheet. So it is a really important step to refresh your spreadsheet, otherwise you'll not be able to view this Pabbly Connect Webhooks option right over here in your extensions tab. And after going over here towards this Pabbly Connect Webhooks, we have to go towards this initial setup. And after coming over here towards this initial setup, it is going to ask me for the webhook URL and the trigger column. So for this webhook URL, we are simply going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow. And now for the trigger column, I'm simply going to enter my trigger column, which is E. So the trigger column will be your final data column, on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards your webhook URL. So if you wish, you can definitely keep your trigger column according to your spreadsheet. According to mine, it is E, so I'm simply going to keep it as E and click on this button which says submit. And now it is saying setup configured successfully. So with this, we have successfully created a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connect's workflow. But now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So what we are just going to do is, I'm just going to open my spreadsheet. We are just going to go towards this extensions, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and over here you have to keep in mind that this button should always be switched on. So what is this button? The button name is send on event, and why it should be switched on? Because that whenever a new event is going to occur in this spreadsheet, automatically the details will be sent towards our webhook URL. That is the reason that this button should always be switched on. And after switching on this button, I'm just going to do the test submission. For that, I'm just going to enter the student name, the email address, the skill level, the learning goals, and the preferred pace. And now with this, we have successfully did the test submission, and now these details have been sent towards my webhook URL, which is towards my workflow. So I'm just going to open my workflow, and we're just going to wait for a few seconds till Pabbly is going to capture the response right over here. Alright, so I'm just going to wait for a few seconds till all of these details have been captured right over here. And as you can see, the details have been captured right over here. You can see the learning goals, you can see the preferred pace, the email address. Also, you can see the rest of the details. So yes, with this, we have successfully completed our trigger step, which is Google Sheets. And now I want to create personalized learning plans, right? For that, I'm just going to use AI agent, which is OpenAI. So for my action application, I'm simply going to look for the same, which is OpenAI. So I'm just going to search for OpenAI and select it right over here. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as ChatGPT and click on this connect. Now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me and click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token. And to get this token, we are simply going to follow the help text, and it is saying kindly visit your OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. So I'm simply going to go towards my OpenAI API key page to get the API key. And after coming over here towards this page, we are simply going to click on this create new secret key button. And now it is asking me for the key name. So I'm simply going to enter my key name right over here, select the project and click on this create secret key button. Now my key has been created, so I'm simply going to copy this key, and then we're just going to paste this key right over here in our workflow and click on this save. And with this, we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. Now it is asking me to select the AI model, so I'm just going to select it as GPT-4. You can select any another of your choice. And now it is asking me for the prompt, so I'm simply going to enter my prompt right over here. And yes, you can see that I've simply entered my prompt. And I'm just going to enter the student details right over here. But we're not going to enter the details manually or by copy pasting it like this. But instead, we're just going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly, which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only. And as soon as we're just going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So I'm first going to map the full name right over here. So I'm just going to look for the name of my student. We are just going to move on forward. I'm just going to map the skill level right over here. We are just going to move on further and I'm just going to map the learning goals. We are just going to move on further and I'm just going to map the preferred pace right over here. And after mapping all of these details, I'm simply going to click on this button which says save and send test request. And once I'm just going to click on this save and send test request, my AI agent is going to generate personalized learning plan for this student. So we are just going to wait for a few seconds, and yes, over here you can see that my AI agent has successfully generated me the personalized plan. Over here you can see the plan summary, you can see the course recommendations over here, and also you can see the weekly schedule. So yes, now I'm just going to add these details into my spreadsheet. For that, I'm just going to add another action step, and now for the action application, I'm just going to select it as Google Sheets. But this time for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as update row because I'm just going to update the values in the row, and now I'm just going to click on this connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Google Sheets account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me. Click on add a new connection, and now we have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And now it is asking me to select my Gmail account, with the help of which I'm just going to connect my Google Sheets. So I'm simply going to select my Gmail account right over here. And once I'm just going to select my Gmail account, Pabbly is asking me for some permissions. So I'm simply going to click on this allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for because my data is secure with Pabbly. And with this, we have successfully connected our Google Sheets account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me to select the spreadsheet. So I'm simply going to select my spreadsheet right over here, and then I'm just going to select the sheet. And now it is asking me for the row index. Over here, I'm simply going to map the row index from the response of my Google Sheets. And now I'm just going to move on forward. I'm not going to enter all of these details. I'm just going to only fill in these three details, which is personalized plan summary, course recommendations, and weekly schedule. Alright, so one by one, I'm just going to map all of these three details. First, I'm just going to map the plan summary, then I'm just going to map the course recommendation, and then I'm just going to map this weekly schedule and click on this save and send test request. And once I'm just going to click on this save and send test request, these details have been added into my Google Sheets. So I'm just going to open my Google Sheets, and as you can see, the details have been added right over here. So yes, with this, we have successfully completed our workflow, and now whenever I'm just going to add the student details into my Google Sheets, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me a personalized plan, and further we are just going to add that learning plan back again into my spreadsheet. So we don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. All of this is going to happen in backend, and we can just sit back and relax. So yes, this was it for the video, and now if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. See you in the next video with many more automation tips, everyone. Thank you for watching. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can connect many more applications. So now if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this URL. And now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect.